Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Hibbing City Council meeting for Wednesday, March 15th. The time is 5 p.m. Let the record show that all councilors are present, with Mayor Pete Hyduke being absent. First order of business, adds and deletes. Delete consent agenda number 5. Add consent agenda number 13. Add department and committee reports number 5C, number 5D, and number 6B. Add bids and quotes number 1B and number 2A. All right, approval of the agenda. Wish of the council.
So moved.
I've got a motion by Councilor Bayless.
Support.
Support by Councilor Whitney. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Hibbing City Council meeting for February 15th, 2023. Wish of the council.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Councilor Schweiberger.
Support.
I've got support from Councilor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes of the Hibbing City Council workshop meeting of February 15th, 2023. Wish of the council.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Councilor Whitney.
Support.
Support by Councilor Hildebrand. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, consent agenda. Consent agenda number 1. Approve accounts payable dated 3/10/23. Checks numbers 174,220 to 174,313 in the amount of $703,174.39. Number 2, approve the city payroll for pay period ending 2/24/23. Checks numbers 168,683 through 168,688 in the amount of $540,389.66. Number 3, authorize the hire of Sarah Voss for full-time firefighter EMT position with the Hibbing Fire Department pending successful completion of pre-employment conditions. Number 4, authorize the posting of a temporary full-time equipment operator 1 position in the Public Works Department due to a temporary vacancy. Number 6, authorize the hire of Sydney Hagan for the position of patrol officer pending successful completion of pre-employment conditions. Number 7, authorize the mayor to sign a letter of support for the downtown speaker project. Number 8, authorize the hire of Christy McCormick for the full-time captain EMS director with the Hibbing Fire Department. Effective date will be determined by the fire chief dependent on scheduling. Number 9, authorize the promotion of Alan Slanton to full-time captain paramedic with the Hibbing Fire Department. Effective date will be determined by the fire chief dependent on scheduling. Authorize the promotion of Jerry Martin to full-time driver paramedic with the Hibbing Fire Department. Effective date will be determined by the fire chief dependent on scheduling. Number 11, set the next regular Hibbing City Council meeting for Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at 5 p.m. at the City Hall in the Hibbing City Hall Council Chambers. Number 12, set the Hibbing City Council workshop for Wednesday, April 5th, 2023, following the Hibbing City Council meeting at the Hibbing Hall, at City Hall in the Hibbing City Hall Council Chambers. And number 13, authorize the updated safety boot allowance form, which increased the safety boot shoe allowance from $13 $130 to $175 annually. Wish of the council.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as read and published.
I have a motion from Councilor Hoffman-Sockman. Do I have a
Support.
second?
I'll support.
I have a second from Councilor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our next section is our public forum. We have one public forum. We have Terry. You want to come forward? If you want to please, first, thank you for coming. Please state your name and address for the record. You do have 5 minutes to talk about your issue.
Okay, I'm Terry Pogerels. I live at 11297 Spudville Road, just on the east side of Hibbing here. And we have a few issues for the Spudville Road area that I would like to address the council. My first issue would be internet access. Right now, we get internet access from CenturyLink, and it's very slow. CenturyLink has plans of running fiber optic to Kitsville, and they take their cutoff right by Sunny Hill Distributing. And they informed me to approach the council to get our names on the list for when they do run the fiber optic cable. Be a matter of just running it down Spudville Road, right from Sunny Hill. I have been speaking to the representatives at CenturyLink, and they say Spudville Road is not rural enough to have internet access with the current fiber optic cable that runs alongside the road. That's for customers farther down. So, not being rural enough, I contacted the Department of Employment and Economic Development, and any rural household with less than 25 megs of internet speed is considered underserved in the rural market. And that would be Spudville Road. So when the time does come for CenturyLink to string this new fiber optic line, would you consider adding Spudville Road to the list, please? We do have one resident here, and we do represent a few others, and there are some other businesses on Spudville Road. Okay, that's first item. Second item, I'm asking if the city council has any oversight over the assessor's office. Why I say that is, over the years, like everyone's taxes, their property valuations and taxes keep creeping up. Well, after COVID, they not just crept up, they bounded up. In 21, 22, they increased over 12%. 22, 23, they increased another almost 5%. I have been speaking to the assessor's office here in Hibbing. That's just the way the market's been over the past 5 years, but that's the way the market's been since COVID. They keep telling me that everybody wants to move out in the country, but yeah, that's not the case. Otherwise, Spudville Road would look like Howard Street, so. Anyway, I did mention to them that 2008, 2009, the banking and the housing market went downhill. My valuations remained the same over a 4 or 5 year period. That's because the Hibbing area was not affected by that downturn in the economy. With the uptick in the economy just a couple years ago from COVID, prices have shot up. We have a house that's still sitting on the market on the end of Spudville Road that hasn't moved. Either the price of it is too high or the market has cooled down. I'm expecting my valuations to go down next year from the assessors, but maybe I'll be back next year to address that. The third item I have would be the condition of Spudville Road. The last time it was repaired was, I believe, 1995. That's when the county had ownership and oversight of it, and they threw a layer of blacktop over the existing cover. So the new cover just followed the old cracks and potholes, and now the road is in terrible shape. The road is not made for sustained semi-traffic. but over the past several years, we have had sustained semi-traffic. They're bypassing the lights on the Beltline in Hibbing, and they're taking a shortcut to Brooklyn or points north, so. So if and when, I'm hoping when you do consider repairing Spudville Road, I'm sure you can't stop the semi-traffic, but if you have it built the same specs as County 5 between Highway 37 and 169, at least it'll take the sustained traffic. And if anybody wants to come out and help me pick chunks out of my front yard, there's car chunks that we have to remove each and every spring from the snowplow. That's all I have. Want to thank you for my time. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you, Terry. All right, moving on, departments and committee reports, building official Pat Green.
Mayor and council members, before you are 3 grants, which for residential demolition, 3 separate grants, so I would need approval on 3 separate resolutions. I don't know if you want me to read those, or it's a total of 23 structures and $110,430 worth of grants funds for this demolition.
All right, yeah, we could vote on them individually, right? So A, offer resolution number 23-03-05, authorizing the city to make application and accept funds from the IRRB, a residential redevelopment grant program, in the amount of $57,036. Wish of the counselor or council?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion from Counselor Hoffman-Sockman. Do I have a second?
Support.
I have support from Counselor Schweiberger. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. B, offer resolution number 23-03-06, authorizing the city to make application to accept funds from the IRRB Residential Development Grant Program in the amount of $36,414. Wish of the council?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Counselor Bayless. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Counselor Hildebrand. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then the last one, C, resolution, number 23-03-07, authorizing the city to make the application to accept funds from the IRRB Residential Redevelopment Grant Program in the amount of $16,980. Wish of the council?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Counselor Whitney.
Support.
I have support from Counselor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Pat.
I just want to say that, I bring this to you and it looks good, but Tina Glad does it's a lot of work, inputting, procedures to get these, and just want to say, I just bring them to you.
Yeah,
I do the
very,
work,
mu-
yeah.
very much appreciated. We do like, definitely being reimbursed for that cost.
Yeah.
All right, moving on, Community Development Director, Betsy.
Mr. Council, members of the council, today I am offering a couple of different things. First is the resolution 230308, authorizing the city to make application and accept funds from the IRRB Commercial Redevelopment Fund. I'm not exactly sure which one is first. Is it Winchester or Barato in your packet? I don't have them numbered on my form.
08 is Winchester.
Okay, so Winchester First Avenue building, in the city, the 2018 city comp plan, economic environment is to support existing businesses. And so Ms. Winchester is purchasing, or working to purchase 2125 First Avenue Hibbing. and plans to renovate the commercial space. Once those renovations are completed, she will operate her salon out of this location. So I am asking for the council to approve the resolution to apply for the grant pending her signed purchase agreement.
All right, thank you. So offer resolution number 230308, authorizing the city to make application to and accept funds from the IRRB Commercial Redevelopment Funding. Wish of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion from Counselor Hoffman-Sockman.
Support.
I have a support from Counselor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Excellent. So resolution 230309 is for the Barato Howard Street property. Ms. Barato and her business partners have purchased the building adjacent to their current Sammy's Pizza operation on Howard Street. They plan to renovate this space and expand their current business into this space upon completion. The entire project will require an investment of approximately $2 million when it's complete and will definitely add to our downtown. So they also fit into our comp plan economic environment goal number 1, supporting existing businesses. They've already purchased this property, and we would enter into a development agreement to continue the steps forward if you choose to go forward with this grant request.
All right, thank you. So offer resolution number 23-03-09, authorizing the city to make application to and accept funds from the IRRB Commercial Redevelopment Funding. Wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion from Counselor Bayless,
Support.
support from Counselor Hoffman-Sockman. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and finally, I'd like to request that the city council to authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the development agreement with Lee's Holding 2 LLC. This project is the site development work for the Lee's Industrial Building that is located in the Hibbing Industrial Park. The developer relocated the shell of the existing 29,700 square foot building from the Bennett Park area to the industrial park, which included the steel structure, roof, and siding, and reconstructed it on the new concrete foundation. They added additional improvements, and total investment to date is $2.4 million by the developer thus far. In April of 2022, Daimler Trucks was secured as a long-term tenant to lease the space as a distribution center for their new expansion. However, that requires additional improvements to this site. So the next phase includes constructing the parking lot on the west and south sides of the building, a fenced-in storage area to the east, and a truck loadout area with loading docks on the north side. Right now, when they bring the trucks in, they have to use something to turn them around as there's not adequate space to do that. Water, sewer, gas, and three-phase power would be brought into the building, into the new, and located about 500 feet north of the 31st Street. It also includes a road extension to Diane Lane to the north, to allow that truck access to pull through and out to the next access road. The estimated total project cost for this site development work is $878,000, which will over time bring the entire investment to $4.778 million. I do have in there I've worked with city engineer, Mr. Story, to make sure that once that road extension is done, that will be a private road going forward. And they will never turn that over to the city is how it's written at this time. We worked with Attorney Borland to make sure that that language is in there, in the development agreement. So asking for, the authorization tonight to sign that development agreement to move forward.
All right, thank you. Authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the development agreement with Lee's Holding 2 LLC. Wish of the council.
Make the motion to approve.
Motion from Counselor Bayless. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Counselor Whitney. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I just have one quick thing in
Nope.
discussion, sorry about that.
Sorry.
I was at the dentist, my mouth is numb, so apologize for that. So the size of the trucks that they're gonna be there, what are we looking at?
Say that again?
The size of the vehicles that will be utilizing the Diane Lane.
Sure. I know, Jesse, you've had some conversations with them about the building of that road and the specs for it. Do you have that information?
Yeah, so Counselor talking with John Jamnick, he's their consultant, and Mr. Lees. So when they bring semis into that building, for the most part, they're gonna be backing into the loading dock, turning around and exiting the same way they came in. They just wanted to have that connection for smaller delivery trucks to get through there.
Okay,
So
so it's
probably
not,
the
there's not gonna be
box truck
semis
size?
going through the residential
Right,
area?
it doesn't sound like they're gonna have semis passing through to Diane
Okay,
Lane.
that was my concern.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
To piggyback on what Counselor Schweiberger is asking, I think we had a conversation about that childcare facility that's right down the road there. So that is not gonna, they're not gonna go down that way in any manner behind that Jefferson?
No, once they come up to Diane Lane, they'll go straight through, they won't take that right that goes to the childcare. They
Okay,
shouldn't be going that way, no.
okay, good, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
All right, on to Library Manager Laura Kahneman.
Good evening, members of the City Council. So I come before you this evening to offer a resolution 230310, accepting the State of Minnesota Assessing Digital Inclusion Mini Grant in the amount of $3,846. This is to form a digital connections committee to assess the needs of the community and where it might be lacking with broadband in the area. And I can answer any questions you may have.
All right, so offer resolution number 2303-10, accepting the State of Minnesota Assessing Digital Inclusion Mini Grant in the amount of $3,846. Wish of the council.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Counselor Hoffman Sockman. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Counselor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Up next, we have Chief of Police Steve Estee.
Mayor and Council, I'm looking for approval tonight on two new policies. First one is pertaining to our emergency vehicle operations. This policy gives officers a guideline on when to respond, code 3 to an incident, lights and sirens, that type of incident. With the help of the League of Minnesota Cities, I drafted this policy, so I'm looking for council approval on that.
Thank you. So approve the Law Enforcement Emergency Vehicle Operations Policy Number 42. Wish of the council.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Counselor Schweiberger.
Support.
Support by Counselor Hoffman Sockman. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one.
Next one is, as we all know, right now, there's a crisis in law enforcement and trying to get people hired. So with the help of Human Resources, Mrs. Clefman and Mr. Brzezinski, we created a recruitment policy within our department. Our hope with this is that our officers within our department will go out and promote our agency. And with that, in turn, they'll get a $500 recruitment bonus. This is one of many ideas we've been snowballing recently to try and get more applicants. Looking for council approval on that.
Thank you. So approve the Recruitment Policy and Emergency Vehicle Operations Policy Number 43. Wish of the council.
Motion to approve, I feel his pain.
Motion approved by Counselor Whitney.
Support.
Support by Counselor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Number 5, Finance Director, Treasurer, Sheena Mulliner.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Tonight I'm offering resolution number 23-03-11, authorizing the City of Hibbing to seek proposals for Hibbing Area Transit Service. As we discussed at our last workshop meeting, Shubat delivered a termination letter giving us a 120-day notice of contract termination as our third-party operator. They will operate our bus service through the end of June. This resolution would authorize us to request proposals for a new third-party operator. I'm asking for council approval.
All right, offer resolution number 23-03-11, authorizing the city of Hibbing to seek proposals for Hibbing area transit services. Wish of the council.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Councilor Schweberger,
Support.
support by Councilor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, I'm offering Resolution 23-03-12, making declaration of official intent to reimburse expenditures from an issue of tax-exempt bonds. Last October, the City Council approved a resolution to reimburse the purchase of an ambulance with tax-exempt bonds. We set the final budget for 2023 in December, and within the budget are other items to be purchased with the bonds. Due to the extensive lead times on equipment and the supply chain issues that we've been facing, these items were approved for purchase earlier this year. This resolution would authorize the city to reimburse ourselves with bond proceeds should the equipment arrive before the bonds end up getting issued. I'm asking for council to approve the resolution.
Thank you. So offer resolution number 23-03-12, making a declaration of official intent to reimburse expenditures from an issue of tax-exempt bonds. Wish of the council.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Hoffman-Sockman. Do I have a
Support.
second? Second from Councilor Schweberger. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one.
Item C, I'm offering Resolution 23-03-13, authorizing the City of Hibbing to apply to the Minnesota PFA Drinking Water Revolving Loan Fund. This would be for a pre-application that we would be submitting on behalf of the PUC, and that pre-application is due March 31st. This is one phase of the Water Infrastructure Capital Improvement Plan they have developed. The PUC cannot apply for the PFA funds as a commission themselves because it involves the issuance of general obligation debt. So therefore, we have to be the applicant of this funding on their behalf. So I'm asking for council to approve the resolution.
Thank you. So offer resolution number 23-03-13, authorizing the city of Hibbing to apply to the Minnesota Public Facilities Authority Drinking Water Revolving Fund. Wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Bayless. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Councilor Hoffman-Sockman. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, I'm asking for the city council to authorize the city clerk to sign the workers' compensation quote with the $1,000 deductible option. Historically, we have selected the regular premium option with our annual renewal. The regular premium option has the highest premium, and the premiums decrease as the deductible increases. USI, our newly appointed insurance agent, reviewed our claims history and our trends, and they are recommending the $1,000 deductible option. So I'm asking for council to approve the city clerk to sign the quote electing the $1,000 deductible option.
Thank you. Authorize the city clerk to sign workers' compensation quote selecting the deductible premium option with a $100 or $1,000 deductible per occurrence. Wish of the council.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Bayless. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Councilor Schweberger. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have City Administrator Greg Prudinsky.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, thank you. First item out of my office this evening is an add-on. It's a letter of support. I did put a copy for everybody to take a look at. It's actually a 3-page document. Normally, this would be on the consent agenda. My apologies, I didn't make the deadline, so I thought I'd bring it to the City Council because there's a deadline for submission of these letters of support. It is a letter of support for a trail connection between the city of Hibbing and the Elborn ATV Trail. It's a link that I think would really be beneficial for this community. Start tapping into those tourist dollars. I know a lot of our local residents like that type of activity in the summer. So what I would like to be able to do is support those efforts through that letter of support. Those are grant and aid dollars, and basically I'd talk a little bit about the grant and aid dollars, and this is the perfect opportunity to invest those dollars into some infrastructure here locally. It is a draft, and I would point to, toward the bottom of the letter, I would like to add in some fiscal impact, which I'm waiting on that information. So we'll be working on polishing it up, but the concept is there. So I'd ask for permission to go ahead, finish that up, have the mayor execute it, and then send that off.
Wish of the council.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the support of the letter that the city administrator would like to submit.
Motion by Counselor Hoffman-Sockman. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Counselor Schweberger. Any discussion?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Greg, can you share with us, is that going to be, where will they have access then? Where will somebody get onto this trail? Do we know that?
Actually, there's a map.
Okay.
Attached. My guess is it's subject to change. What I'm hoping happens is, there's a trail that crosses 169 and just dead ends there. I'm hoping they take that and they link it together and then it goes, so you can continue to the Auburn Trail. That's, I think, the concept.
Okay.
At this point, my sense is they'll be crossing 169 at grade. Eventually, if it all comes together, it'd be nice to have a above-grade crossing, but that I don't know for
Okay.
sure.
And the reason I ask is because, you know, I think we all receive telephone calls about the number of four-wheelers on our roads and everything, and I was just wondering if this is going to increase that, it could potentially increase the traffic.
My hope is that it would,
Decrease
it would
it?
decrease it.
Okay,
Of course, I don't know that for sure.
right.
I think this could be a great economic development tool locally. Maybe we can get some of our retailers, whether that's fuel stops or restaurants, or whatever, involved in kind of that whole activity, so.
Great.
It's a great
Thank you.
question.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
So, one other item from my office for the city council and our general public. So, a quick report from the legislature. Over the past 2 weeks, we have been down to the Capitol once in person, once remotely. Mayor Hajduk, Candy Sepala, and Nick Arola were down last week attending the League of Minnesota Cities Day at the Capitol. We did have them testify in front of the Senate Tax Committee on our local option sales tax. There was another meeting yesterday. We did testify at that as well. It's been held over, so it's made that next hurdle. Next stop will be House of Representatives. We'll have to do the same in front of the Tax Committee. But I will report back to the City Council with those results as well, so.
Thank you.
So, item number B, we do have a signed agreement with our AFSCME bargaining unit. It's a 3-year contract. I would offer up resolution 230314, approving our labor agreement and the memo of understanding between the city of Hibbing and our AFSCME, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. If you have any questions, I can try to answer those. Otherwise, a motion and action on that.
Start with the resolution. Or do you guys want to have any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
So offer resolution number 230314, approving the labor agreement and memorandum of understanding between the city of Hibbing and local 791, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. And we had a motion from Councilor Schweberger. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Councilor Hoffman-Sockman. Any discussion?
Just probably a thank you to everybody involved. So,
There's
thank you.
A lot of hours.
A lot of hours.
So
So,
it's
thank
really
you.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Indeed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to bids and quotes. City Services Director, Nick Arola.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. First up tonight, I am requesting approval to pay the quote for the Curling Club dehumidifier blower motor in a award that to Range Cornice. This was the emergency fix that we did a couple weeks ago. I believe it went out in a council briefing. But it was the main dehumidifier in the curling club area, kind of a critical component to down there and to keep the moisture and humidity levels down. So we went ahead with that, but I would ask for approval, since it was an unbudgeted item, approval to make that payment to Range Cornice in the amount of $4,550.
Thank you. Approving the quote for the curling club dehumidifier motor replacement for the Range Cornice heating and sheet metal in the amount of $4,550. Wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Bayless. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Councilor Hildebrand. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is the Mindview project, the construction phase of the project. Construction bids came in last week, and we had one bidder for the project, and it was Max Gray Construction here in Hibbing. The amount of their bid, their base bid, was $2,492,000. That is about a $300,000 increase in compared to our engineer's estimate. So I have supplied you guys with a new copy of our sources and uses. I can run you through it quick if you don't mind. So looking at the updated sources and uses, we'll start on the sources side. We do have the state bonding money in there, the 1.3 million, and we do have our ARPA, American Rescue Plan dollars allocation there. We have up to $779,000 allocated of the ARPA money that we approved at previous council meetings. We have that in there. And then we go down to the uses side. We have the new construction estimate from Max Gray, the roughly $2.5 million. And then, which brings us to a little bit of a funding gap at the bottom there of roughly $422,000. That would be worst case scenario, the city would be on the hook for that. We would need to cover that funding gap of $422,000 out of city reserves. We are working to bring that number down. We do have an application in right now with the IRRR for another $350,000. We're confident and optimistic that that will go through. We don't have a signed agreement or anything, so it's not set in stone, but we're optimistic that we're gonna move that forward. So that would ultimately bring our deficit to $72,000 roughly. We do have another application with the Blandon Foundation that's coming up in April that we do plan to apply for. And if we are awarded anything at that point, that would just also go into it and lower our ARPA funds that we would contribute. So the more money we get from other grant sources would lower our ARPA money, and then we could use that ARPA money for other projects. So that is kind of what we're looking at. Considering we've been working on this project for upwards of 4 years or whatever it was, I would suggest we move forward and accept the bid from Max Gray, and let's move the construction project forward. So I'm open for any questions and discussion you guys may have.
Mr. Mayor, I have a few questions here. Has there been any conversation to rebid since there was only one bid?
We have talked about rebidding. With only having one bidder and knowing kind of the climate of the construction industry right now, everybody is fairly full. There's kind of not a lot of shortage of work. That was a concern of ours going into bidding, that we were gonna get enough bidders to bid it because we didn't wanna push it out any longer. If we do rebid, we would have to advertise another 30 days or whatever the statute is. We could risk losing Max Gray at that time because they have other projects they're bidding on as well. And it just pushes the whole process out, shortens the construction window, and Yes, it has been talked about.
Okay, so, and then secondly, have we sharpened our pencil? Is there anything that we can take out? Since it came in over $400,000 over budget?
Yes, possibly.
Okay,
I have talked to SEH and Max Gray both, and we will come up with some ideas on possible reduction. But we don't want to change the, I guess, the feel of the building, but if there is ways to value engineer a few things, we will consider that.
okay. Because it's real hard for me personally to accept or approve something when we don't have all the money. So is there a possibility that we can hold off on accepting the bid until we know if we can have, I know you're optimistic, but when would we hear back from IRRR to make sure we get that $350,000? Can we do something like that? Do we have to accept this bid tonight, or can we wait until the IRRB meets and we receive that $350,000? I'm just not comfortable spending money that we don't have. And I know it's a great project and we're all excited to get it done, but what happens if we sign it and we don't have the $422,000?
Yeah, I guess that is the question that is before you guys tonight. If you're comfortable, worst case scenario, it would be the $422,000 that would come out of city reserves. Do we feel the value of that project is worth $422,000 to the city of Hibbing? We have to kind of make that decision tonight, because we don't know if we're gonna get that 350 in grant. So we have to look at worst case scenario, and I guess that's the question we have to ask. I feel that it's worth it. I think in the long run, it's gonna be a great project, and would love to move it forward as soon as possible, but I do understand your concern, and that's where we have to decide if the project's worth that commitment.
Yes, Councilor Bayless.
So I guess, I don't know, maybe if you did or did not get your answer. Do we
Don't
have
know if
to-
I got my
I
answer.
think the main answer that she was looking for is, do we have to accept the bid tonight?
Tonight.
Or can we
Can
kick
we
the can
wait?
down the road a meeting, or?
Right.
I think that's what she was asking.
Right, because in the bid docs, it doesn't say that we have to accept this bid
We do-
tonight.
Yeah, we do
Right.
not have to accept it tonight. That just pushes things out even longer, and I don't want to risk losing the one bidder we do have due to other projects that they are currently bidding on as well.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, we did talk about that in our team meeting today. Did we ever confirm if it's a 30-day run out for the commitment?
I believe it's 30 days, yes.
And where does that put us for 30 days? When the bids were opened on the 8th,
We
7th?
open the 7th?
So our next meeting is the 5th of April. Is that true? I think so. So yeah, we could meet that 30-day timeline. So to answer your question, it doesn't have to be awarded this evening. If we don't, we could push it back substantially on the calendar for completion date. I guess that would be the upside downside.
Because road restrictions aren't off until May 15 anyway, so nobody's doing any construction, right?
That's true, but getting on the calendar is the key. And we'd like to get on the calendar first if we can. When road restrictions are lifted, then we can start building, so.
I had a question.
Yes,
I don't know.
Councilor Whitney.
Counselor Hoffman-Sockman's other question got answered. Like, Nick, do you know, like, what the timeline is of when we would get, if we would get that 350,000 from IRRB?
They do have their meeting coming up at the end of this month. I know that, so.
And that's when this would be brought up,
I
for sure?
believe so. I haven't seen confirmation that it's on the agenda, but I would believe so.
So hearing these answers, I'm just, for me, I'd be more comfortable if we could put it out, see what IRRB has to say, if that we're on the agenda, and see where we receive that 350,000. And in the meantime, as you're already doing, probably looking for other gap funding.
I guess, go ahead, Councilor Schweberger.
Was it October we're looking at? Is that our expected finish date on this whole project?
We did.
As of now?
We did move it back to the end of December, at the end of the calendar year.
Oh, that's a finish date now?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
what's the big deal if we push it? Yeah, all right. Not gonna be able to go there anyways, it'll be snow, so.
Right.
Okay. That was us pushing it back from the timeline, or that was them pushing it back from performing the work, or what?
Correct. It was a request from contractors to SEH and just asked if the timeline could be adjusted to accommodate lead time with material was the main component on that.
Yeah, I'm good with waiting to vote on, or to vote till we find out then.
Yeah, I would say if we're not in danger of losing the bid in this timeline, like if the I-Trip is meeting at the end of this month and we can go till April 5th, that's something I would be in favor of.
So one question then, or just, so if we go through and we wait till the 5th of April and the IRRB does not give us the money for this one, we would still be in the same boat we're in today, right? Except for then we would be almost 30 days behind in ordering any materials, which could cause further delays in the construction.
Correct.
Is that kind of what we're looking at?
Yep, correct.
But we could always rebid as well, if we had to, because we still have time to do that.
So I have really big concerns about that myself. I think the biggest risk is we only got one bidder the first time, and we're probably gonna get one the second time, and the bid's gonna be higher. If they know that we don't have another. I mean, that's the real risk. And then we're also out for the rest of this year too, to get on their calendar. If we rebid, we're not gonna get preferential treatment. So I understand what you're saying.
Right, right. And I guess I look at it as, that we received one bid, and you can't have a competitive bid with just one bidder. So how do we know? I mean, it's usually two bidders that you can see that you have a competitive bid. We have nothing to go against. You know,
So Councilor Hoffman's argument to your question, that's why these are sealed bids. And so it is a competitive bid system. You just only one person was
Right,
interested
it's
in
only-
bidding, so that
it's their.
that is a competitive bid. That was the only bid you happened to get.
Right,
So
right.
And Councilor Bayless might very well be right with the nuances of if the one knows what the bid was the first time and doesn't think anyone else is gonna bid, will they bid higher because they have other projects? So it's if they lose this project, oh, well, we're still busy, you know? I don't know the answer to your question. If you did make a motion to table and you get a second, there isn't any discussion on the motion to table, you just vote on it, just so, if that's what you guys decide to do this evening.
I'm curious if we can, Sheena, where does that, I mean, reserve-wise, if we just got no extra money, where are we at with that? Where does that put us?
Well, we do have reserves in the general fund we could pull from. I guess I don't have the balance sheet right in front of me, but I think we have probably about $12 million
Okay.
in unrestricted.
This might be a really dumb question, but if we use that, is that something that we look to replenish, or is that just, it's out of our reserves? Because I don't necessarily think everybody understands that means that we have to raise taxes because we use that 400,000. You know what I mean?
Right, so the way the general fund works is every year we budget a balanced budget. If you end up with a surplus, then that would be the point where you would determine with like a fund balance policy, which ones you want to replenish. Anytime you end up with a surplus, then that's where you end up getting it in that, like unrestricted fund balance.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I guess to answer your question, there is money in the fund, in reserves that we could pull from if the council feels that this project is an important project for the city.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other thoughts, questions? If we would have to either vote to table it or vote to approve it, is that correct?
Or reject it, or reject the bid.
Or reject it?
That's your other option.
So you can start with the vote to approval, right?
Do you have anything to add or an opinion?
I don't. I think it's a solid project. I too like to have at least two bids because I always shoot for the engineer's estimate being kind of in the middle of all those contractors bidding. So to your point, Counselor, I mean, that is what I shoot for. It doesn't always happen that way. Rebidding, you do run the risk of pushing the project off until 2024. You also run the risk of materials, not locking in materials pricing. I mean, that's been pretty volatile. Lumber's down, steel's up. I mean, it's a crapshoot. What we see in the overage is about 15% or so. And remember, those last engineer estimates were from 2022. So, I mean, in the context of inflation and where that's at, I mean, we really pounded on this thing a lot of different ways. My thought is if the city council is comfortable spending money out of reserves, that you take action on it tonight. You award that contract to Max Gray and you move the project forward. That's what we concluded as a team internally, which was kind of what Nick started with, our recommendation to move it forward. But we did look at it a lot of different ways, and it was kind of, all right, is it valuable to the community? How long have we been working on it? You know, what are the pitfalls if we do or don't award it? And that was just kind of the background behind what we talked about, so.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll support.
Motion to approve by Counselor Schweberger, seconded by Counselor Bailiff. Any discussion? Any more discussion?
And this is to accept the bid and tap the 400.
I would just say, you know, my discussion would be, yeah, I think the project does have a lot of value for the city. You know, we got the money from the state to put towards it, and moving forward, I think is the best thing. I think if we look at, you know, if we waited until the next meeting and we didn't get the money, it would be the same thing. I would still think that it's a good option to move forward with the project. I would have concerns if we pushed it off too far, pushing it into next year. The price of things that will always increase, right? So inflation is going to go up. So the project is just going to get more expensive. Any other discussion?
Well, I'm gonna be voting no, just because of the process. I just, you know, and that's what it is. I'm not comfortable, doing something that we don't have the funding for, even if we're going to go into our reserves. I truly believe this is a great project. I've been behind it 100%. So it's not that I'm voting no because of the project. I'm voting no because we don't have the funding in hand. And I don't see what going out till April 5th for the next meeting would be, you know, a big problem with that. So again, I'm for the project. It's just that I'm not comfortable not, you know, having the money in hand. So.
And once again, this is 400,000 out of 12 million.
Great, that's the unrestricted fund balance in the general fund. Or undesignated.
I have one question too, Nick. If the process gets started, there's ways of going through the process and decreasing that along the way too, right? I mean, we can take things out as we go along to get that number back down.
Yes.
So it's not a set stone.
I don't have a number yet, but yeah, I plan on meeting with SEHM, Max Gray, to try and drive that number down. Yes.
Right, and again, that's where I'd be more comfortable having that in front of me, rather than just saying, oh yeah, we can do that. And that's not against you or anything, Nick, at all. Mm-hmm. But where could we have those deducts and that type of a thing? So I kind of feel like I'm going in blind if I approve this, because I don't know what the bottom line could possibly be.
Any other discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
City Engineer Jesse Story.
Mayor, Council, if you recall, last fall, the council passed a resolution to participate in the county-wide Class 5 crushing program. The county did open bids for the program. The low bid was from Lustig and Sons for $3.04 per ton. The original quote last fall was $3.80 per ton, so it didn't come in under budget. We are scheduled to crush 5,000 tons of Class 5, and with that, we'll have 4 required gradations to make sure it passes MnDOT specifications. So the total cost would be $16,300. We did have $20,100 budgeted for this item, and this will take place in the Riley Pit off of Bunker Road. So I'm asking for council approval to participate in this program.
All right, thank you. Approve the 2023 St. Louis County Class 5 crushing program in the amount of $16,300. Wish of the council.
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Councilor Schweberger.
Support.
Support by Councilor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
License and permits. Number one, approve the 2023 taxi cab license application of Randy Murray, Randy Cam, including Uber and Lyft, 3013 3rd Avenue West, Hibbing. Wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Bayless. Do I have a second? Support. Support by Councilor Schweberger. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question on that one. Can you explain the Uber and Lyft on there? Is they're gonna be operating as Uber and Lyft?
Yep, I can.
He's here if he wants to.
Yep. Well, what I do want to let the council know, Mayor and Council, Andy Borland and I have talked about this at length, and we both felt that the language within our ordinance included both Uber and Lyft. Mr. Murray, he's the first person to even come to the city asking to be a taxi cab or Uber and Lyft. And he'll be available to do all three because he does have an LLC. He's met the minimum qualifications for insurance. And in fact, he has more insurance probably than anybody with the restrictions for Uber and Lyft. But he has met all of the minimum qualifications that the city requests.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number two, approve the raffle permit request, application request of the Hibbing Chisholm Breakfast Rotary to hold their raffle on Thursday, May 11th, 2023 at the Do You. Wish of the council?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Hoffman-Sockman. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support from Councilor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number three, approve the raffle permit application request of PEO Chapter DE, Hibbing to hold their raffle on Tuesday, April 25th, 2023 at the St. James Episcopal Church. Wish of the council.
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Councilor Whitney. Do I have a second?
Support.
Support by Councilor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number four, approve the raffle permit application request of the Iron Range Motorcycle Club to hold their raffle at Homer Bar on Saturday, April 29th, 2023. Wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Bayless.
Support.
Support by Councilor Schweberger. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the special permit request application for the Iron Range Motorcycle Club to hold the Northern Minnesota MC Swap Meet at the Hibbing Memorial Building, Saturday, April 22nd, and Sunday, April 23rd, 2023. Wish of the council.
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilor Hildebrand.
Support.
Support from Councilor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number six, approve the special event permit application of Our Savior's Lutheran Church to hold their White Elephant Sale on Monday, May 1st through Saturday, May 6th, 2023 at the Hibbing Memorial Arena. Wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Hoffman-Sockman.
Support.
Support from Councilor Schweberger. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number seven, approve the 2023 transient merchant license application of Trent and Janelle Jansrich, the Ice Cream Truck LLC.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Counselor Hoffman-Sockman.
Support.
Support by Counselor Bayless. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, approve the special event permit applications for the Hibbing Blue Jackets Wrestling Fans Club to hold their annual banquet at the Hibbing Memorial Arena on Saturday, April 29th, 2023. Wish of the council.
Go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Counselor Whitney. Support. Support from Counselor Schweberger. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, approve the temporary on-sale liquor license of the Hibbing Blue Jackets Wrestling Fans Club to have Palmer's dispense alcohol at their annual banquet at the Hibbing Memorial Arena on Saturday, April 29th, 2023. Wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Counselor Bayless. Support. Support by Counselor Hildebrand. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, with respect to the last item on the agenda, the closed session,
Yes.
I just need to kind of make a record with regard to that. There's a presumption that all meetings should be open. However, in this particular situation, the HEDA board has actually received what I would term a claim or a demand for a payment from HEDA. And the community development director has been in communication with this individual. And because of the circumstances of that, if in fact the city was contemplating addressing the claim, it's best that the strategy with regard to that be done in a closed session, so it's a fair balance between having an open meeting, but advising the council as well as the HEDA board as to the strategy involved there and why you might be taking this up. And that's my recommendation as to why this should be closed. And the statute is 13D.05, subdivision 3B, under attorney-client privilege. Thank you. And you wouldn't have to come back. You could adjourn the meeting now at this point, make a motion to go into closed session and adjourn the meeting, and you wouldn't come back in. You wouldn't be taking any action on it tonight.
Okay. All right, so closed session pursuant to attorney-client privilege for potential litigation pursuant to, and is this correct, the Minnesota
13D. 13D.05, subdivision 3B.
13D.05 subdivision 3B.
Correct.
Wish of the council.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Counselor Bayless.
Support.
Support from Counselor Hoffman-Sockman. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then, before we adjourn, I just have one quick little note here that I'm going to read from Mayor Pete Hyduk. At this time, I'd like to read a statement from Mayor Hyduk to the city of Hibbing. I'd like to thank the entire Ask Me negotiations team, HR Director Angela Kleffman, the City Administrator Greg Prudinsky, and for finding common ground and putting the City Council in a position tonight to sign the 3-year contract agreement with our outstanding Ask Me staff. I really appreciate the time and effort that all negotiators put forth in getting this contract completed, ensuring the continued safety of our Hibbing residents today and moving forward. Respectfully submitted, Mayor Pete Hyduk. Cool. Definitely very kind words. Thank you, Pete, for that. Now, last thing left is adjournment. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Counselor Schweiberger.
Support.
Support from Counselor Bayless. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.